And let's go.
And now it's time for Bikes, Mikes, and Idiots with your hosts, Ubi and Eric.
Alrighty, guys, here we go again. As you can see, we're sporting some special attire.
Go Bills!
Cowboy stuff,
Oh,
as
yeah.
you
Oh,
already
hey,
knew.
I already heard the Cowboys are in the playoffs
By who? Definitely wasn't by me.
by everybody who watched preseason.
Oh, Jesus. Preseason doesn't count for
No, it doesn't
crap.
count for anybody.
It doesn't count for anything.
If it is, the Bills are in a lot of trouble this year.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
Preseason is just rough. But then again, I mean, there's been a lot of movement this year.
Yes.
Lots of
there has.
movement.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
It's going to be exciting. So we did this special for you guys a little bit. Since
For us. Just to, I got Bills blue. He's got Bills red. We got Bills white. Bills black.
Yeah, we don't got really any Cowboys colors except
Yeah.
for white, technically.
Yeah, and then technically blue. Oh,
Yeah, but it's not the right blue.
got to turn on the light.
If you guys
It's a
didn't
day.
know,
It's
we've
a
been
day.
doing this for a while. It's almost like it's our first time again. Although this time we hit the record button, so
Yeah, we hit the record button. We were actually for you Patreon followers, you'll get to see some funny outtakes of us trying to do our sponsor spots. So we redid the sponsor spots because we just didn't like the way they sounded. They didn't sound real professional. So we're adjusting fire as we go along because we're idiots, and we figured we'll sound a little less idiotic.
yeah, someone might actually enjoy our sponsors eventually if they sound right.
Yeah, if we don't make things up like vegetable based.
Yeah,
So
we
if you want to know
understand
what
that
that's all
joke.
about, jump on Patreon.
And since we're on that topic, if you guys hit a like, subscribe, hit us down in the comments, definitely will help us out in the algorithm.
Yeah, I've been talking to a couple of people who've watched it, and they're like, "You guys are actually pretty funny." It's weird because you guys are idiots in real life. Like, that's the whole point of it being Bikes, Mikes, and Idiots. It's
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
come on.
That's where we've made our name for ourselves. This
But,
this didn't come out of coincidence.
No, it did not coincide. They're very different.
Coincidence?
Yes, multiple coincidences.
Is it like octopi?
Yes, that's what we're going to go with.
Oh,
Goodbye,
I
baby
was
God.
reading Baby. So that'd be Jesus, Jeebus,
Yeah, it's a big baby Jesus.
Jeebus.
Yeah, sounds good. So, what you got for us today?
Well, besides football season starting,
Which
so
I
that's-
won't talk much until the actual games start.
Yeah.
So that's going to be this week. They should be starting.
Yeah. So this will be coming out.
Yep.
Probably first week, second week of.
Yeah, depending
Season.
on how bad we are at getting things done.
Yeah.
Work's been busy. We've been busy.
It has been.
So
It's
life
just-
is what it is.
And on top of it, like we said before, after nationals, trying to get back into the rhythm of everything.
Different
getting
station, different shifts, different things going on. So
It's been a lot of stuff going on.
yeah, so I've been up since 2 a.m. this morning, and we're probably 2:50, 2:40, something like that. So I've been up for 13 hours now, and I am exhausted. There wasn't enough coffee today to deal with it, but things are good. I've been enjoying my break-in period.
Ooh, breaking period on what?
The 122 kit.
You finally got it in.
Yes, it pulls like a freight train, and I'm not even going full throttle yet. So
Just imagine.
excited.
And that's just going to make
I'm
for
like
more.
a child. It'll make for better content here.
Well, no, it's gonna make for more idiotic things
Oh,
we do
absolutely.
on the bikes.
So we talked about my burnout at Nationals and how it was kind of funny. I got there to the dealership. They're like, "Oh, you've got belts showing, and you're at 0-30 seconds on your tread." And I was like, "Can burnouts do that?" She's like, "Absolutely." And I was like, "Well, what about the 1,700-mile trip after the burnout?" She's like, "Oh, you're joking. You're driving on these?" I'm like, "Well, how do you think I got it here?" I drove all the way to Scottsdale. It's 150 miles from Tucson.
Ooh.
Eh,
Well, you
I made it.
I was gonna say, as long as you made it, that's the
Yep.
that's the
I
most
made
important
it,
thing.
and the got new tires, so I got fresh shoes, fresh brakes, fresh motor. Life's good.
I can
We'll
just
see.
I can just imagine.
Quick
We're already-
versus fast might be more interesting now.
Yeah, you might actually get me now.
We'll
I
see.
think.
I'm still
the
way heavy.
122
I'm still heavier than you.
Yeah, but the 122, you're pushing. What's
105
Approximate numbers.
horsepower, 135 torque at the wheel, or 130 torque at the wheel.
So if my speed limiter was higher, I could probably get you on the top end.
Yeah. I have a feeling I might pull on you in the low end.
Yeah, I think you'll get me there.
Because mine's,
I'm-
the Harley's measured at the wheel.
Yeah.
Yours is measured at the crank. So,
So-
10% drive loss, give or take.
So I'm still in the 1 teens for horsepower at least.
horsepower.
So I'd get you on the top end.
The torque, yeah,
Yeah,
probably got
torque,
you there.
Torque probably got me.
So that's all right. It's fun. It's all good fun. That's all that matters. We'll have fun doing it. Fun
Well,
riding
with your
around.
whiskey throttle,
I do have whiskey throttle.
somehow.
When I'm sober, I have whiskey throttle. I just don't have a fear.
It's
My
the-
fear switch is pretty far.
It's the survival mechanism just doesn't click in
It doesn't kick in for a long time.
unless someone else is not in control.
Oh, yeah. Then it kicks in really early. It's like, 10 miles an hour. Slow down. Ah!
So that's the thing.
Oh,
When your kids are learning to drive,
yeah.
I bet that.
Oh, well, I was a driving instructor for our agency. So I taught high-speed pursuit driving. So I only know how to teach people to drive really fast. So it was really interesting teaching my children to drive because they're like, I'm like, okay, you hit the apex of the corner, throttle on now. And they're like,
What's an apex?
Dad, what's an apex? Yeah, what's an apex? Why do I need to throttle now? On-ramps are for speeding up, kid. Just do it. But yeah, so that's kind of a thing there. And then I did get pulled over on the way home on I-10
Of course.
for going too slow
Oh, geez.
because I couldn't go fast enough because I was in break-in. So I was like, well, I got to drive it. Like I was between 60 and 70. I got pulled over by a cop. He's like, are you drunk? I was like, no, sir, I'm not. I said, I'm breaking in the new top end of the motor. He's like, oh,
I'm not drunk. You're drunk.
yeah, you're drunk. I was drunk in a bar. You threw me out. I wanted to be in a bar. You threw me into public. That's what
Ron
Tater
White.
Salad, Ron White. Yeah. Tater. My name's Tater Salad.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
He's
funny.
hilarious.
He is funny. So, but yeah, no, that's I'm just geeking out about the bike. I got all sorts of parts. I'm going to put something together. Maybe have like a little cup holder for us with the heads, and
Oh, yeah. Then
I'll figure
Maybe
something
nice
out.
little-
I'll figure out something out just to do for fun, just because I'm bored.
just because I'm bored. Till you get bored with that engine, then you want a different one.
Oh no. No, I'm done throwing money into that thing.
There's a lot of money that can go into bikes.
Yeah, it's
insane.
never ending. It's cubic dollars. Like you could always put more. There's always something else to do to it. So
there
that's
was
why
that
I've got
one-
to set that level.
There was that one little meme I sent you about the Harleys.
Yeah. It's the same thing with Jeeps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Harley's a perfect bike once you replace the handlebars, the the intake, the exhaust, the pegs, the
$20,000
saddlebags,
later.
the seats. $20,000 later. Yeah, it's the same thing with Challengers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yours is the same. Your
Oh, yeah.
engine's the same. You keep.
I've been throwing money into it.
you
Keep
can't
throwing
help
money
it. You
into
just
it.
can't help it. They're fun.
And you want to get it to where you want it to be personal to you.
Yes.
And I think that's where a lot of people throw that much money into it. They want to make it their own.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I put a couple little extra like things onto this bike that I didn't necessarily have to do. When
Such as?
I did a Screaming Eagle Derby cover because I didn't realize like as they were putting taking the bike apart, she called and she's like, "You realize your Derby cover says 114 on it, right?" And I was like, "Oh, my OCD, I can't do that." So I'm like, "Do you have a 122 one?" They're like, "No."
Sharpie.
She's like, "No, they don't sell a 122 Derby cover." I'm like, "Damn it." So she goes, "Well, there's a Screaming Eagle Performance." I'm like, "That's fine. It's on the intake." So,
Just that OCD.
and then with that one spot on the head that's polished chrome.
Yep.
We have a blacked out one. Same price as the push rod you didn't need to use because you already had them. I'm like, put it on.
No one needs to know.
Don't tell anyone.
Well, that's what it comes down to.
Harley parts. They're everywhere.
They really are, though.
Yeah, they are. Well, Indians are getting there, though. Like Lloyd's Tuning, you've got really good stuff there. Like, if I were to, I'm not going to say do it over again because I won't do it over again. Eventually, when this thing wears out, I will be seriously considering the Challenger.
Eventually, so
So I'm like 10 years.
yeah. We'll see what they
But
look
then
like
there won't be anything. It'll be a flying. I'll look like a stormtrooper running.
on a little speeder.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would actually be awesome. But
Then I wouldn't have to worry. I wouldn't have to worry about cattle guards.
somehow magically you'll still end up bumping
Yeah.
over the cattle guards
Exactly. I'll get stuck in it.
or slip out.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, it is a lot of personalization that goes into it, and people think, oh, there's tons of black motorcycles,
Yes, I can find mine in the middle of a crowd like that.
and I think that's where that personalization comes in a little bit too. Is you know which one's yours. You have certain little particular things.
Like I had somebody ask me one time, "Why do you have hand warmers on your bike? Do you live in Arizona?" Yeah, because it's like 20 degrees in the winter, so I want my hands to be warm.
Yeah, it does get
It gets
super
20
cold.
degrees there.
It does get insanely cold, especially while you're moving, and then you hit a wash.
Oh, it's a dry cold.
Oh yeah, it's
It's like a
Whatever-
dry cold.
whatever that
but
means,
No,
but-
there definitely is, because I think 20 degrees here feels way colder than 20 degrees in the snow when I grew up in upstate New York.
could that be because
The
it's
snow is
snowing
kind of
or while it's-
semi-insulating. No, like when it's just on the ground, if it's 20 degrees,
Yeah.
20 degrees doesn't feel as cold when you're in the snow. But, I mean, you're probably more dressed for it. You're in the mindset of it's going to be cold out. Whereas out
Maybe.
here, you look out and it looks like it's a beautiful sunny day. There's nothing on the ground. You walk outside and you're like, oh my God, it just shrunk a lot.
I didn't know it had a garage.
Yes, yes, it does. 3-car garage, buddy.
Ooh.
And I'm
You
not
went
saying if
fancy.
it's a tandem or a triple or 3 cars wide. I'll leave that up to you to decide. Well, maybe not you.
No, I don't need to have that.
No, God
I've
will
already-
decide. Hello, God. Which, I mean, we'll probably get a visit. We'll probably get a visit from God on this podcast today, knowing where she's at.
I feel like we're special. We get all these visits from God.
Once there was this kid who.
So what's your favorite thing right now? Now that you've gotten it, what's your thing you're looking forward to? Now that you've got the 122.
Being able to go whiskey throttle. I can't, because it's weird. Like, I did the break in a little wrong. I actually, instead of being at 3,500 RPM, which I was allowed to be, I only took it to 3,000. So I broke it in a little bit easier. And now that I realized when I read it, I read it long. That was the first 50 miles was 3,000. And then up to 100, it's 3,500. And then after 100 to 500, then it's
you can
up to
kinda-
4,200 or 4,250. So I'm in the 4,250 stage now. But like, if you hold it at a quarter throttle and it just climbs up through the RPMs, right when it hits 3,500, you can hear the exhaust note changes because those start opening up more, and it pulls and it lifts. It doesn't lift the front tire, but
It starts to
it
lift
takes
up.
weight off the front tire, and it's like, oh. And I'm not even whiskey throttling it yet, and it just all of a sudden it'll be like, brrr, like it's almost like it hits on a turbo. It's really strange.
VTEC kicked in,
VTEC,
bro.
yes. I was going to say that, actually, VTEC. And it's not a variable valve timing bike. The new ones do that. The new ones have that. But this one, it's weird. And I'll let you drive it once I get it broken in, and you can, see exactly what I'm talking about. You hold it at about quarter throttle, and all of a sudden, it hits that RPM, and it's like it gets more fuel, it gets more air, and it kicks
that
it
a
into a
tuning
no
thing,
gear.
though?
Probably. It's probably tuned that way.
Which, I mean, that's not a bad thing.
I almost think they put the power cam in it, which is supposed to come on right around 3,000, 3,500.
Oh, maybe.
Instead of the torque cam. Because I told him, I'm like, it's got plenty of torque down low.
Yeah.
But even with the power cam, with the 122 in it, it's going to have 130 foot-pounds down low.
Yeah,
but
so
you're going to
you'll be
have higher
fine.
horsepower, so it might even be more than the 105, give or take, that's supposed to be at the wheel. Because I think they put the power cam in it, which I'm fine with. The lady's like, well, we'll take care of you. Don't worry. This guy knows how to build these.
We made it special for you.
Yeah.
Which I actually recently found out that, so on the Challengers, peak torque isn't till 3,800.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
And I was like,
That's weird.
yeah,
It's a very, you have your torque curve almost looks like a horsepower curve.
yeah.
Whereas on the Harley, it goes up, it's up there at 1,800, it stays
And
there,
it just-
and then it falls off and the horsepower kicks up. It's kind of you got a weird power curve in that, but that's
Yeah.
that motor.
Yeah, and I've noticed it revving it out,
Yeah.
that it still pulls real high.
Yeah.
Instead of just speed, you can still feel it pulling high in the RPM
Yeah.
range. But it just sucks because then
Then it just
That's at
falls flat.
55.
Yeah. Just. Bleh.
yeah, 5500 is red line.
Yeah.
Even though I told you I think I hit
Yeah.
$6,000 one day.
Yeah. I don't know how that works. Well,
It's-
red line probably starts at 55, and it probably has a hard cut at 6.
maybe.
So what it does, it probably cuts your spark at 6. That's my guess.
It could be.
Because I know that's how they used to do that. Like my Suzuki did that. Mm-hmm. Like I couldn't tell what RPM it was at because it didn't have an
Didn't have a
RPM gauge,
tachometer.
but it just said tachometer, RPM gauge, same thing. Using all these fancy schmancy words and. Damn it! There's another one. Boop.
We should totally have a.
We should have a counter that just pops up.
I'll have to find a way
We'll
to
have to
do
count
that.
them up.
I'll
We'll have to
find a
count them
way
up
to
and
do
just have it pop up like boop.
Yep.
Just a number pop up. That's all you'd have to do is have a number pop up, or do our scrolling text with the pop up number. Eric 5, Louis 1.
Now
Yeah.
I think in the last couple of episodes I at least got 4 at least.
Yeah. The last
I caught
couple episodes, I
myself.
was pretty good. I was pretty good last couple
You
episodes.
were,
This one,
surprisingly.
not so much.
Well, I think maybe it's the sleep thing. You heard that?
He's rocking out in there.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Hey, but remember last time we had this whole discussion, one of
Yeah.
our first podcasts, and you were like, they're jamming out on the guitar, and it was the
Yeah, and you could
Dyno
have
drags.
Oh yeah, it was. That's right. Those things were loud.
They were super loud. But I think today we're gonna have to hit our notes.
Yeah, we
because,
definitely have to.
we
remember
really haven't planned out a
No, we've been
an
busy
actual thing.
with other stuff that has been keeping us busy.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had quite a few things just
Yeah.
occupying our time, occupying our minds. And there's not a lot you can do about it. It's just life.
No. Yeah, well, I mean, things happen. I mean, that's the way life goes, and the key is moving on. Come to a decision, move on. Life's good,
Yeah.
and everybody gets along. Everybody loves each other. Blah blah blah.
Exactly.
So what do you got?
So let's see.
Let me get some.
Let's see. What was your favorite drink growing up?
Tang. 100% Tang.
I remember those commercials too.
The other one could be the other. It's going to be a toss up because the other one I would do is I would take frozen orange juice, throw it in the blender with a couple of raw eggs because they would froth it. They would
Yeah.
make it frothy, and I mix it up with some chopped ice and make it into like an orange smoothie with
Okay.
just a little bit of water. So I mean, it's basically orange
So it's
juice
like-
with egg, but I mean, it was so good, so good. It literally tasted amazing, and that egg just gave it that frothiness to it.
Give it a little extra.
Yep.
Little extra
Little
something like a
extra
little
kick.
meringue out of the egg.
Yeah, so it was good. So it's good. God, Tang or that's going to be tough.
So
Because Tang, you could change
basically
your
an
mix.
orange drink.
Yeah, you could change the Tang based on your mood. And for a real thick, heavy Tang, you put a couple extra spoonfuls in there. You just kind of
And
wanted
it made your spit just like
Yeah.
thick.
Oh yeah, you drank it. You're like, you could chew what's left over in the bottom of the cup when it was done. So yeah, I'd have to go with those. The little barrel things were cool, but they weren't really my thing with little foil
Oh
top.
yeah, with the little foil.
little juice foils or whatever. But no, I would have to say Tang probably, and that's the coolest thing is that Tang was designed for
Astronauts.
in space. Like how cool is that? And now we have astronauts stuck on a space station they can't get out because they trusted Boeing, the same company that made a 777 that the door blew out. This by no means believes that we think there's anything wrong with Boeing, so lawyers do not sue us.
I'm sure we've flown on many Boeing jets before.
Oh yeah, I've only had one break on me.
I feel like that's too many, but if you really
No,
consider it,
no.
air flight is
Air
just
flight's pretty safe.
is super safe considering.
I did have a flight mid-flight catch fire.
What?
Yeah, we're like flying, and I was flying from Syracuse, New York, down to Florida, and we're flying, and we're over Florida about give or take, because it was towards the end of the flight, and I'm like, I can smell something electrical burning,
I
and I was like,
electrical fire.
and so like the stewardess like walks by, I'm like, ma'am, is something electrical burning? Because I smell that really bad, and she's like, nope.
Her eyes just lit up.
Lights lit up. Nope. Oh, would you like another drink, sir?
Yes, yes,
You know,
please.
yeah, I was a kid, so yeah, Sprite, thanks. Got Tang?
Got Tang.
But so we
Actually,
go
that wouldn't be a bad idea.
on a
Throw some
flight.
Tang in some Sprite.
Tang Sprite with vodka. Oh, we may have
to
created
try
a new drink.
We may have to try this.
Yeah, we might have to do that because it'll give a little bit of a fizzy
Yeah.
orange and lime.
Well,
The kick of vodka, that might be good.
we may have to try this.
So we need to put on the notes. Buy Tang, Sprite, and vodka, which I have vodka. But
The idiots want to thank Sketchy Alias, one of our founding sponsors, for everything he has done for us. Sketchy works in vector-based design and has been working in the design field for 15 years.
his designs have been used on coins, apparel, websites, and logos. Sketchy is also a veteran who serves this great nation. Thank you for your friendship, work ethic, and service. So yeah, so we like land. So we're like flying into the airport. We land, and like we roll to the end of the runway, pull off on the taxiway, and they shut all the electric off in the plane. And the damn fire trucks are following us down the runway, and they start spraying the plane with
going.
foam. And we're like, I'm like sitting there like, oh God, I'm gonna die. You know, I was a 14-year-old kid flying on my
yeah,
own the
then
first
you're-
time, so I'm like.
Oh, that's a great experience.
And then
for
they
your first time by
pop
yourself.
the door, and we all get to go down the slide. I'm like, what happened? Well, mid-flight, the cockpit had a bundle of wires that caught fire, so they were like spraying
In
fire
the
extinguishers in the cockpit. So they were on oxygen the whole rest of the
ride.
flight, and like we landed. I'm like. So how was your first, like, I get off and we get into the airport. So how was your first time flying? I'm like, well, my plane caught on fire. And they're like, oh my God, you were on that one? I'm like, yeah.
As tears are running down your face.
It's okay. I wasn't scared. Mom. I had fun though.
Sounds like it. So,
Yeah, it was a
so
good
you're saying orange drinks, essentially.
Yeah, orange is just like a good flavor to me. Like, I've always loved
but not
oranges.
natural orange juice.
No, I love natural oranges. I can drink the crap out of that. But like, not for like Tang for me was it because it was like you'd play hard outside all day, and you know, orange juice was expensive.
Yeah,
Tang
that's
wasn't.
true.
You could buy a whole thing of Tang for like $2, and a carton of orange juice was $1.50.
Yeah.
So that's all. I mean, maybe it was out of necessity that I like that as much as I do, but
Well, there was Sunny D. The
oh, you couldn't drink that.
Tempe. What? Why?
Too expensive. My family
Oh, yeah,
couldn't
Sunny
afford
D,
that, dude.
Sunny D to get it got pricey.
Yeah,
It did get pricey after
it's
a while.
like $3 a freaking gallon now.
Close. No, you were close. What about Tampico? You didn't have that
Yo no
growing up?
soy de Mexico.
Oh, sorry. Grew up in Tucson.
Yeah, I grew up in upstate New York. We didn't have Tampico back then.
I think I'd have to
We
say
had Taco Bell though.
authentic Mexican, obviously.
Totally authentic.
Although I love Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's really good.
It
I
is
think that's
really
what we're gonna have for dinner tonight.
I think I'd have to say probably Capri Suns.
Oh, so we didn't have those then. I'm 10 years older than you. Capri Suns didn't
Capri
happen.
Suns been around for a long time.
Was that Capri Suns or the?
Let me see.
Am I thinking something?
And we're gonna
different?
have to look this up real quick.
Yeah, look it up because I don't remember
Sun.
Capri Sun. Well, maybe that or my parents couldn't afford it. That's
Let's see. Invented the drink in 1969.
oh wow.
Introduced in the West German. Introduced it in West Germany as Capri Sun, SONNE. Name retired.
Okay, you had me. You kind of had me messed up there for a second. I'm like, introduced in Germany.
Okay, let's see. Let's give it a little more context. When did it come out in the U.S.?
Probably 71, 72 then.
It probably was pretty.
So I mean, it was around for sure. We just didn't drink them.
Apparently, I don't know how to search things. 1979.
I was born in 78.
So it was around.
I was around. I just was not
Honestly, I didn't know
privileged
about
enough.
it till like mid 90s.
I
Anyways,
tell you, we drank. My parents got those barrel drinks, like the
little
foil
plastic.
top. Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
what we
those
drank.
those are actually pretty good.
But
They're like-
surprisingly, what you do when you're done with them, dry them out,
Mm-hmm.
pour gunpowder in them, put tape over the top, and you can. I'm not telling you how to do that.
yeah, probably not the best
We'll
idea.
use them for targets. Let's just put it that way.
Sounds like a fun time though.
It was. There was no doubt that you actually hit the target.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like predecessor to Tannerite.
I would love
Tannerite's
to. I'd
fun.
love to mess with some tannerite.
Just don't do it in the middle of a field in the summer for a gender reveal
But yeah, that was
in Arizona.
almost anything that has to do with flames in Arizona in the middle of summer. Probably don't do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly.
So how do you
didn't
drive
really
your
know
bike? It's pretty flaming. Actually, I have seen flame pop out of your bike though because
with the
your cat
backfires.
ran. Yeah, the cat ran away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually surprised.
APA, he doesn't have it.
They don't know where I live. They
I
probably
do. Come find me and I'll tell you.
Yeah, but
Oh,
jeez,
dude, I got to tell you about today coming back in. So I'm riding the bike back in from work, and I'm about a mile from my house, and a bug went through like because in the road glides, the cutouts on either side of the light. It came up through, and it went right up my nose, and I was like, so I'm like sitting there riding the bike with one hand going, trying to blow my nose out, and dude, I had snot all over myself, but I got it out, but it hurt.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, it went full on into
Just
my
the luck
brain.
that it got right in there.
Oh God, it went right up and into my brain. I'm probably picking my nose right now.
It's okay. You've done it many times.
I'm sure I have. I can't help it.
You
There's
just
gold in that Tar Hills.
So you're saying we're going to be rich?
Ooh, I wanna be rich. Beep, beep, doop, doop, doop. Remember that song?
Maybe.
I wanna
do.
be rich. Do, 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 do.
Sounds familiar. I'd have to. I'm
like
sure if I hear
80s
it, I probably would. I'd be
song.
like, oh yeah, exactly. We've been doing that at work lately, talking about
Old
random
songs,
stuff, and
yeah.
and they're like, who sings this? And I'm just like, I know the song.
Oh, I could
can't
do
think
like.
of-
You know what we can do? 80s TV show trivia right now. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm totally gonna lose.
So we'll do the theme songs. Ready?
You do know I was born in the 80s, so not sure. Not 8. I want to say that's 18, but it's not.
No.
It's was it Knight Rider?
Boom! Another
Knight
one.
Rider
Ready?
was awesome.
Dun, 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 dun.
No clue.
Airwolf.
Don't think
One
I've
of the
ever seen
cool.
that.
Oh my gosh!
Don't think I've
It's
ever
about
seen that.
this special helicopter that gets built, and then it like flies all around missions everywhere. It's awesome, and it's literally just a passenger helicopter that they put fake guns and stuff on, but it had like a boost on it. It was like Knight Rider in the air.
I was gonna say
Amazing!
It
It could outrun jets.
That's pretty
Like
impressive.
it was. I'm telling you, start watching Airwolf. It's got
Airwolf?
God, Jan Vincent or Vincent Jan or something like that. He was one of the big 80s stars.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really good show. So you got to watch that one.
So someone brought it up the other day. Someone had brought up the other day Knight Rider in Spanish.
Oh yeah,
There's hilarious, like the dubbing of it.
terrible,
Hilarious.
terrible yet good.
It's hilarious. It's one
Well,
of
and
those
they
things-
even went. I hate to. How do I say this and not sound insensitive? They went that route when they chopped up, Kit after
Yeah.
he got broken one of the times in one of the episodes. And they had a whole bunch of cholos walking around. And they like cut the roof off of it, and then it ended up being the
Hilarious.
convertible Knight Rider, which was actually honestly really cool looking.
Yeah.
Like it looked amazing.
Knight Rider was awesome.
It was an awesome car,
I remember going to
and really, that year car was terrible.
that
305 multi-port tune injection, terrible car.
Firebird. Yeah.
Terrible.
But I remember when I was a kid, I have pictures of it, like sitting in kit,
Yeah.
like at,
Yeah.
I think it was at like
Comic-Con
Universal
or
Studios or
something
something like that. They had it sitting out. That was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Considering like the time frame and all that stuff. And those year Camaros, I love that body style of those year Camaros.
Oh,
'Cause
the
of
Camaros,
Firebird.
yeah.
The Fire. So that body style, love it.
Because I'm trying to think, that's the square headlight?
Yes.
Yeah, the IROC C.
The IROC years.
Oh,
yeah.
those. long, like 10-foot long hood that you could fit a V12 engine out of a Spitfire into it.
If you wanted to, yeah.
That's fine. Let's find a World War II, like P-51 Mustang engine and put it in there.
Oh, I bet you would fit.
It would
probably
fit. Like you'd have to open up your hood, but how awesome would that be?
It's a big old cow.
1,700 horsepower motor in the front of that thing. You'd have to put like diesel truck springs in the front. Those things are too heavy. The motor's too heavy for it. Jay Leno could do it.
We could find a way.
I was watching Jay Leno's garage, and he's got like 4 or 5 different cars with the Merlin engine in it, and it's just like, oh my god,
The cars he has there. Like, if he were to just open his garage as a museum, you know,
make a fortune.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Because the cars he's got there is insane. Like the Bugatti Atlantic, I think it's called, which it had like the fin on it.
Yep.
Like it's just cool looking cars.
Well, and then on a lot of those cars, like they didn't. Oh, there's no parts. Like you can't get parts. So he's like, well, let's find the building specs. So they find the specs, the original build specs on it.
Some of them are 3D
and he
printed.
3D prints them, or he has a company like
Make 'em,
CNC them for him. Whoever like, and what I like is that he tries to use when he can the historic ways of making the stuff. Like he is such an amazing guy. So Jay Leno, if you're listening to Bikes, Mics, and Idiots, we would love a tour through your garage. And we would love to do a podcast with you there.
I'd be happy with just the tour, just to get to see some of those cars.
I like to just do the podcast because then we can talk to him because he's funny.
He is hilarious.
He honestly was the best late night host, I think, ever.
Yeah.
Johnny
Absolutely.
Carson was cool because he was the one who kind of started it, but by far the best.
David Letterman had his moments.
I love the toss, the question toss. Like that was my favorite part of Letterman.
So he had his moments.
Yep. But by far, Leno, the best. And he had the best band.
Oh, yeah.
Best band.
I was sad when he left, and then he started doing that Jay Leno garage stuff.
And I watched that. I watch that on YouTube all the time.
It's awesome.
Well, and then he's like, when he's talking about his jet bike, it's like, and I'm sitting there, and a Honda Civic pulls up behind me, and it just melts the front bumper.
Yeah, it melts the front bumper.
But yeah, hearing that thing starts crazy. Like when he started up on there, and it was like, like I just amazing. It's just so amazing.
Your seat was wet afterwards?
Oh yeah, it was wet.
No, but he has some amazing cars.
Yeah.
And then it was a little bit of both.
Yes.
It was a special occasion.
Special occasion.
No, but I've also recently I started watching. I've seen some of his stuff before. But then I started watching some random stuff on Whistling Diesel.
Yeah, Whistling Diesel's funny. He's funny.
You can't take him serious. If you take him serious,
but I don't like the fact that he damages all these nice cars. I would just love to drive one before he wrecks it to death.
Oh yeah,
like that's my only. But as a car guy, and we've talked about being car guys before.
Yeah.
As a car guy, that to me is sacrilege. I don't care that you have enough money to do it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It hurts me a bit, but I also respect the fact that it's he has that.
He don't care.
I guess it's the I don't care gene or whatever, but I would say almost bravery to do this to these cars that people are just like.
That's a classic. Why would you do that?
Or it's a Ferrari. It's a fairly new Ferrari, and you're destroying it.
Oh, he did the McLaren. I think he did a McLaren. He did a Ferrari, Lambo for sure.
Oh yeah, but it's like it makes me sad, but at the same time too, I respect the fact that he has that.
Well, yeah.
Just
it's the same with Mr. Beast when he does the thing where like, okay, you got to build this thing up to protect your car that you're going to have, and he's got a $300,000 car in a Connex box, and the guy has to build up stuff around it to keep it safe.
Yeah,
like that. Just even that, I cringe every time like they take a shot at it. I'm like,
it's slightly cringy, but at the same time, like I said, in my mind, it's there's a little bit of respect to it as like he doesn't hold it as that idol up on that pedestal that everyone else does. You know what I mean?
It's just a car.
It's a car.
Yeah.
So I kind of respect.
I do have to say I respect that as well, but at the same time, it's still sad.
Oh yeah, I almost cry every time. Even like he did that one SEMA truck. That was like $250,000 truck.
I know.
That thing was amazing. And then I saw an episode where he inadvertently burnt down the Ferrari because he wasn't even halfway through.
Well, and then
like,
they wouldn't.
shooting the
Yeah,
stuff
and then they
with it.
wouldn't even let him buy another one. They're like, no. That is one thing I do have to say. Ferrari's cool about like Porsche. They don't care. Just sell you another car. It's part of Volkswagen Auto Group. It's a big company. They don't care.
Yeah,
No, we'll just give you another.
Ferrari's
buy
very
another one.
specific.
Oh yeah, their owners like for certain cars like the F40.
Oh yeah,
Oh, you got an invite for that. And Ford did the same thing when they brought the new GT out.
yeah.
And to be honest, I think Ford did it right when they did that.
That car was awesome, even though it was the. Are you talking about the
V6.
V6
Yeah.
turbo,
Yeah.
twin turbo?
Amazing car.
Yeah.
Like I've just been watching the Grand Tour again.
Love that show. They have their
This
last
season's the last
I
one.
know.
So that's why I'm watching it. I'm trying to catch all the way back up to the to where they're at now so that I can watch
it
the
makes me
last
so
one like
sad.
that. When they said that they were closing the tent, like, oh, we're done. This is not the format
Yeah,
anymore. We're done.
we're
I
just gonna
started
do these
crying,
long
dude.
ones.
I kid you not, I was tearing up. Because I'm like, those guys have been a part of my life. I watched Top Gear.
Yeah.
My whole life I've watched Top Gear. Like we had BBC at home. It was one of the few channels we could get in northern New York because it was Canada. So I would watch BBC and I would watch Top Gear and like, oh my gosh, these guys are amazing. Like, and to
awesome.
live your whole life with those guys,
Yeah.
it was like they're done. Eventually, you know they're going to be done. And then when they got fired from Top Gear, I'm like, Top Gear will never be the same.
No,
and it's not.
it's never been.
It's never recovered.
It's never been. Those guys just and they have that dynamic to
Yes.
them.
It's kind of like you and me on the podcast. It's just amazing.
I don't know about all that. I don't know if we get that.
We don't get that kind of star quality yet.
No. One day maybe we'll.
So Ferrari, if you're watching, I'm doing big pitches today. Like Ferrari, if you're watching, we've got Porsche and Ferrari. We want to see which one of you contacts us first to give us
who's
a
willing
test
to
ride
reach
in
out?
one of your cars.
But I mean, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Either one.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about it before. You're more of a Porsche fan. I'm more of a Ferrari
I'm
fan.
German.
But,
I like Porsche.
but still,
Either one. I'm
either
not going
one.
to.
I'm not going to say no.
Would you like to drive a Ferrari? No, I'm only a Porsche guy. No. That's like, oh, hey, want to go to a Cowboys game? Yeah, I'll go.
Hell yeah! It's
Yeah.
an NFL game is awesome. Just to
As
go
long as
to.
it's not Bills Cowboys, because we might get in a fight in the stands if I wear this.
It'd be a good time though. Either way,
Oh, yeah.
I don't
We'd
know.
have fun.
You're a big dude, so people might be like,
Maybe not the best idea.
maybe not him.
Yeah,
we
but-
were talking to the guy across
But
the way.
people get brave.
Yeah, that's true.
You know how that works.
Liquid courage.
Yeah.
No, but I mean the whole car thing is almost died.
Breathe air, not that.
Not liquid.
Okay. Okay.
No, people do get brave, and like with the car thing, like I said, with Whistling Diesel,
Yeah.
that I give him a little respect for that.
Yeah.
It hurts me deep down inside.
Yeah.
And like you said, when Top Gear, when they, well, but they did a whole thing. How did that really go down? Because it was, I never really got fired.
They told
Jeremy
him
got
they
fired.
basically yeah.
They gave him
You get
ultimatum.
we're not going to hire you again, so you can just leave now or forever hold your get out.
Yeah.
But honestly, it worked out great for him and Amazon and the other
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
The other guys were like, "We're out too, deuces."
Oh yeah. Well, because that show there was no show without Jeremy. If it was just Hammond and May, there was no show.
God, I can hear them rocking out. But yeah, it would not have worked without the three of them.
Yeah.
Like you need to have that. Like just they mess with each other nonstop, which is hilarious.
Oh,
Because some of the stuff they do is funny. Like I didn't really get the whole Argentinian issue
Which one?
where they had the license plate that supposedly referenced the Falklands War, which was between Argentina and the Brits.
They do some.
I
odd
didn't really
stuff.
understand like that whole, and that was under Top Gear, not under
Yeah.
under Amazon. But like, I didn't get the whole like craziness of that episode where like they're like, "You guys need to leave now," and they flew them out in the middle of the night. And
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like, "Oh God!" So I didn't get the whole thing, but I also don't. Historically, I don't know that much about the Falklands War, so I'm
Yeah.
not going to get into that.
But they do some odd stuff. And they do.
Yeah,
But
like I love when they drop off all the parts to make that truck.
Yeah.
And Jeremy goes and drinks all the alcohol. That's what would happen with us. Oh, there's a bottle of gin.
yeah.
One of us would run away with actually not gin. Ugh,
No, not Jin.
not my fan. I'm not a fan of that.
No, but that was such a great show.
Yeah.
And it does make me sad
And to see it leaving, I'm going to tear up when it's their last show and they say this is it for us. You know, we've enjoyed all this time, and I'm going to tear up.
Yeah, I might.
Because
It's an end of an era.
Almost my whole life.
Yeah, I mean they've been doing late '90s.
Yeah, I mean
it was
my whole adult life for sure.
Yeah, it was late '90s. I think it started.
And the stuff they did was like the grand tour. The whole point of the grand tour is going cross country with your buddies, having a good time, and we get to bite into a lot of that on the motorcycles.
Yeah,
and even when we were doing it, towing the bikes on the one trip that we did, because we're like, we don't have time to do this on bikes. Like it's too far.
Yeah.
We still had to have that camaraderie where we're messing with each other at the gas station, putting stickers on each other's cars. And, so those are the things that, like, when I go and it's my time to go, I'm going to look back in my life and say, you know what? I had some fun. I did some really cool, fun stuff in my life. I enjoyed it. I've got a great family. I've got a family outside of my family. Then I've got my work family. Like,
and it's those little moments. Those little things that end up,
like, I will remember you dropping your bike in Georgia for the rest of my life, and it wasn't even your fault. There's nothing you could have done about it. It overheated, and then you go to put your foot down, and there's no ground there because the road dropped away. Like, there's nothing you could have done. But I always remember like that going over and me going, figures it's an Indian, and I drive over there and I go to put my kickstand down. And I'm like, oh my God, there's no road, and like that's when I. Turned back around and got to the edge of the road. I'm like, damn, now I know why you dropped it. And those two guys helped you up with it. But
there was nothing I could do. But I'll never forget that either.
Yeah, like that was a fun, weird situation that just kind of happened.
And on top of it, I got real lucky that it didn't roll down the side of that.
Oh, yeah, because that is gone. Your bike would have been gone. It'd have been totaled.
So,
because it would have just kept going.
So it's those little moments, even though it could be the verge of disaster. There's those
things.
And
then us going back for Bear.
Yeah.
And that twisty thing. And all of a sudden, both you and I are like scraping pegs as we go around that one corner. We're like, oh, no, way tighter than we thought. Way tighter than we thought. Too fast.
That was fun.
Wet leaves.
And on top of it, it was nice to be able to go through that without the group.
Oh, my God.
Because
group riding is cool to a point.
But stuff like that, it's gorgeous area.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff to go through. But you go through in a group and you're just like, oh,
we're all going 10 miles an hour.
This is miserable.
Yeah. Whereas, like, we got to jump ahead to go get video. Yeah. So we jumped ahead and got ahead of everybody. We're, like, riding the whole time, like, and then we're watching the group, and they're, like, 45 miles an hour, and we're like, what was the speed limit there? Because we were doing, like, 70.
Yeah. It was some little country road no one needs to know.
Take me home to the place I belong down in Georgia. See, now you can't get me on copyright. You can't. Different song.
Totally different song.
We want to thank one of our founding sponsors who helped make all this possible. The Legion of St. Michael Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club International is a 501c3 charitable organization that focuses on first responder and military families in need.
The Legion of St. Michael was founded in 2014 in Chicago, Illinois, in memory of fallen officers. If you are interested in helping to support the Legion of St. Michael in their endeavors to assist first responders and military families, please reach out to a local chapter or contact the Idiots for a link for donations.
But yeah, I mean, those are the things that, and I know we went from drinks to this, but we just kind of scrolled on it. But like, this is honestly, this podcast will be one of the things I remember the rest of my life.
Oh yeah,
even if we end up not being successful, I don't care. I've had a blast. Like, this is fun.
Yeah, it's
like we get to have a good time, and
you're hitting stuff that you normally wouldn't hit in
normal conversation.
Yes,
so because we do dive into some weird stuff like megalodons and nuclear subs,
ghosts,
UFOs, Copper Queen Hotel. Never stay there because you're going to die.
Yeah, stuff like that.
But those are the things that these are the things that life is about.
Yes.
It's not about go to work, go to work, go to work, go to work, go home.
Yeah.
And do nothing on my weekend.
And that's why, ever since Top Gear days, I've been so envious of those guys. They got to do, for a living, do what we wish we probably could do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And get paid tons of money for it.
Yeah, I mean, and we get paid very well. We'll have a good retirement when we're done.
But it's not the same.
It's not the same, but we've got to do some great stuff because of what we do and because of the people we work with.
Yes.
We're law enforcement guys. We trust each other. Life is amazing with that. Like, that's the cool thing is, like, you have a brotherhood that military guys understand as well.
Yes.
And it will always be important to us, and it will be what defines us in our life is who we spend our time with, the adventures we had together. So like next year we're going to Washington State.
Oh yeah.
I'm going a week early. And I'm going to get to ride up Mount St. Helens, which is like, I read books about volcanoes and earthquakes as a kid, about like showing pictures that the guy took from Mount St. Helens before he died.
Yeah.
Because the blast killed him. Like, those are the things I'm going to get to see. And I think you're going to go with me a week early. I think that's what we're trying to plan on.
We're trying to plan on it.
I'm going to get the hotel here this week. But,
already?
Yeah.
Super early.
Well, yes and no, because they fill up because now the area we're going to is twilight.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So that's why he put that out. So I'm gonna get my hotel room right away.
So if in a year, guys, we don't come back, just
the
know
vampires got us.
Vampires are the werewolves.
If we sparkle every time we're in here now.
And I think that's crazy too. Stuff like that where
that turned that place into a tourist town.
I guarantee it did.
Oh, it did. He said there like literally there's like, oh, and this is where Bella talked to the werewolf the first time, and this is where the first sparkle in the sunlight happens. Like, oh, give me a break.
And I bet you it's a gorgeous area too.
Oh, I'm sure. It's like I've seen his rides on Instagram when he posts on Instagram, and they are gorgeous rides. Gorgeous rides.
But it's just it ruins that little bit of that that scenic wannabe. Oh no!
I got a refill. Keep talking.
But it kills a little bit of the allure to it for normal people. If you're a fan of that, it absolutely, you want to be there.
How you doing?
I'll take one. But
we may black out the camera for a moment.
We'll be fine. But like we were saying with the whole Top Gear thing, that was a huge thing for us, and we grew up with that because it meant so much to us. Yeah. Because we're such car guys, and it was just cool to see them doing the things they did with, like, for example, the Hilux. What they did with the Hilux.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that was insane.
Oh my god, it sounds cooking. And it smells really good.
But they did. Almost.
They did.
Almost.
They did sheets in the wind. But no, they did the Hilux, like, and we've got to see the transition of cars from like your good sports car is a McLaren P1, and then the Bugatti shows up, and now you've got the Rimac. He almost died.
Oh, that was on.
He was lucky.
Grand Tour though.
Grand Tour, but still, like the same idea on Top Gear. Like you saw the evolution of the BMW M3 from like. Always been a great sports car, but then becoming an iconic sports car.
Oh yeah,
and then there's an M5. Doesn't matter, the M3 is still better. Like, and you see them test and go through this stuff, and like
but the stuff they would
and
do
the Aston Martins.
Oh my God. They're one of my favorites.
Astons are not a good car,
but they're still one of my favorites.
But they're so beautiful, like hand built. Like every car you buy that's an Aston is going to be different. You can buy the same model, and they're going to be different. They're hand built.
Yes.
They're beautiful.
So and that's the thing about it. So when they were in their top on top of their game on Top Gear, the Astons weren't the best cars. Mm-hmm. They were kind of had their flaws, they had all that stuff. But now they become really good again. Tried to cover it. It was a little late. So if you cough.
Yeah, those are funny. But no, like you said, those Astons, they just I got to see it like change. Yeah. Become an amazing touring car. Like that. You want to talk about a Grand Tour? That's what they are.
Yeah. And Jeremy would get Astons all the time.
Yep.
He would end up riding them when they did their little, cross their little multiple country things, but in Europe that's like basically going from state to state in the US.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. It was awesome to see that. And just seeing them do the things we would try to do if we had that ability.
Oh, if I had that money, we'd be doing that. Yeah.
And then finding a random abandoned airstrip.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what are we gonna do here?
Well, like Top Gear US actually came down here and was in Douglas, Arizona one time for a drag race of one of their crappy car ones because it has a really long runway.
Yeah.
But then, like, you just think about the things that those guys, like the countries those guys got to see, like all across Africa.
Oh yeah.
Just areas now that you can't travel into because they're so war torn and dangerous.
So have you seen the last one before this one that they're about to put out? I think it was the last one. They were in Africa again.
Yeah, Mauritania.
Yeah. And
Oh,
then they
imagine
were
that.
like, oh yeah, we can't go to our final destination because there's riots breaking out.
Because there's riots breaking out and we're going to die. So we'll just end it here. Get on a plane now. But yeah, they've done what so many people wish they could do. Same thing with Long Way Round, Long Way Down.
I don't think I've seen
That's
them.
Ewan McGregor and and Charlie
Ewan
Borman
McGregor.
when they ride the bikes across.
Yeah.
They start in England, drive all the way across Russia, fly from Siberia to Alaska, and then all through the U.S. to New York City. Like they did that. Like that's an epic journey that the rest of your life you can talk about. And then they're like, well, let's go from here to the bottom of Africa.
Yeah.
And then, now we're going to take Harley live wires all the way up South America into the United States, and we can't charge them anywhere. Damn it. But I mean, even with that, we got to see, your first electric cars. Oh, the Prius. Terrible car. Terrible hybrid car. But then you saw the
PTSD.
Honda Echo. You saw, like,
I got
the Hyundai, the Honda Accord hybrids. Then now you're seeing the Teslas. Like, all these companies are building these electric cars, and then the Rimacs
Quick
and
off
all these
topic.
fast ones. Yeah, what do you got?
Off topic, but on topic. PTSD. Prius traumatic stress disorder.
Oh, yes.
For me.
Yep.
Sorry,
I would say Priya traffic stress disorder.
Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, you're saying about the Rimac. The Rimac's awesome. Koenigsegg, I think, is doing
They're doing
they did
like
a hybrid.
A hybrid. Well, you get to see like these systems that no one ever thought would be viable, and now some of them are.
Yeah.
And they're not. I still don't think they're practical.
No, the electric cars just are not practical yet.
Well,
they're not going to be for a while.
They are for what I would call short distance commuters.
People that never leave their city.
Yeah, where you
town.
drive 20 miles a day to work,
Yeah.
and you don't take long trips. Like if you're going to take a long trip, you fly.
Yeah.
For those guys, electric's perfect.
Well, we were talking about this at work the other day, and did you ever see? Did you ever
Broken
see?
bar. No.
This was, I want to say 5-6 years ago. They were talking about it, and they even showed like, not demonstrations, but like illustrations of it. And it was essentially kind of like how they're doing to those 15-minute cities that they're trying to implement. And it was essentially you wouldn't own a car.
Yeah, you just have like
You have
ride
like
shares.
Yeah, it's like a ride share, but
It's
you
golf
go
carts.
and like the panels on it, so you could pick whatever color you wanted, and the panels on it would say you wanted red, and then you go to
change color.
Yeah, it changes color to the red, and so you have it. You could park it in your garage for the night, and then when you go and you park somewhere, you go to the grocery store, whatever
else
it
picks
is,
it up.
It goes in, and it
Goes into the
like,
queue,
you know how
charges.
it goes into the little queue charger thing.
Yeah, I saw those.
and it's like the shopping carts.
Yeah,
the
they all
buggies.
line up together.
You call it buggies,
Yep.
don't you?
No, carts.
Oh, okay. I just figured area
Shopping
where
cart.
you grew up. But it goes like shopping carts.
Yeah.
And like
Then
the
they
back
plug in
end
and
picks
charge,
up
yeah.
like that. And it goes to the back of another one and it charges up. And then when you get out of the grocery store, you
grab
just
the one in the
grab
front.
the one in the front. Like it's a semi cool concept, but at the same time, too,
I don't want somebody's dirty car.
Yes. So that's where we were talking
It's
about.
the
with
whole pool vehicle versus assigned vehicle argument
Oh
that,
yeah.
that our agencies had forever.
Yeah.
Pool vehicles get destroyed because there's nobody's responsibility.
Exactly.
Assigned vehicles last forever.
So and that's the thing. Is so you end
Unless
up,
you hit a deer or you have an accident.
Yeah,
like
things-
those things happen.
those things happen. But you imagine like you keep your thing pretty nice and clean and tidy, and then you go and you grab the one in
I
front.
get Oscar the Grouch's freaking car that's got a banana peel hanging off the rear view mirror. I would lose
Yeah.
like I would
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're gonna have to beat that one down.
I got you.
Like
again.
I would lose it because, like, I don't need anything to be pristine. Like my bike's dirty. Like I ride it just about every day, so it stays fairly dirty. I mean, I clean it once a week or once every other week and wash it down really good. But it's always going to be dirty because I ride it.
Exactly.
So like I hate garage queens. And we know a perfect person who has a garage queen.
Yes.
And then they're like, "Oh, I don't want to ride out today because it's going to get dirty. It's windy." Then why have it? Get rid of it.
Yeah.
I hate garage queen vehicles.
Rent one on that day.
Yeah.
Rent a bike, rent a car,
I
whatever
mean,
it
the
is.
same person's got $80,000 into that bike, and
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I get it. It's only been painted 6,324 times. Point one.
Point one. Yeah. But that's the reason you have something is to be able to use it. And have you ever seen those memes where it's like a guy's car?
Oh, yeah.
And their house.
Oh, hey, I've got to go use my wife. I got to go use my wife's car. No gas. There's bottles everywhere.
There's just trash.
It is
stuff.
absolutely 100% probably true.
Well, but you think about it.
I'm not saying anything else. I was called misogynist once.
You were. But it is kind of true. Like you get into girls' cars and it's kind of messy. Granted, I'm outing myself here. I've been a little messy lately with
You
my
do
cars.
drive an Indian.
No, there's that too. But I have been a little messy with my cars lately. But for the most part, I'll go through and I would
It's a Dallas
at least
Cowboy
every
thing.
other week. It's not that. I'm not wearing high heels.
Today. Just to the games.
Just to the game.
Just to the game. But no, you're right. That there's definitely something to
guys
that.
just
Like,
they take care of their cars, but you go to their house if they're like a single guy.
and some of it too, I think, is like my kids growing up were always in her car.
Yep.
They were never in my car. At the time, I had the Mustang convertible. Now, when I took them in my car, it was like, "Daddy, do burnouts." I love my kids, so I would sit there and do burnouts with my Mustang, where it was like the smoke's rolling through the around the side of the car and into the car, and they're like, "Yeah!" I have some petrol head kids, so they're all into that. No, they're good, and my daughter still helps me work on the bike, so she'll actually
really?
she wrenches on the bike with me. Yeah,
That's awesome.
if I change brakes on a car and I don't ask her, she gets mad.
Ooh.
She wants to work on the car. She wants to learn those things. So
I'm assuming she knows how to change her own tire.
She knows how to change her own tires. She knows how to change her own brakes. She knows how to change oil and air filters.
There you go.
So she can do all basic maintenance on her. Now she needs a hand still. I mean, she's only 14, but even at 14, like she'll use the torque gun. And it'll be like, so she'll have to she'll brace herself with it and use it,
Basically
but get the air ratchet and she'll get the tires off and she'll do everything. Like, okay, turn this thing here, turn this thing here. And then there's times like I can't move the bolt, Dad. Yeah. Okay, let me get it and I'll get it started. And as soon as I get it to where it breaks loose, let me do it. And she wants to do it.
Yeah. And that's how it should be.
Amazing. I love it. My son's like, I'll take it or leave it. I know how to do it either way.
Yeah. Oh my God. That reminds me of
nuts sometimes.
Reminds me of a time. So semi-work story. But so we had gone to help out some guys. They had a flat tire. We went out.
No idea how to change it.
Yeah. So we went out. Where's
your jack? What's that?
So we went out. They said they needed some help with something. Okay, so we came out to go help them. Found out they had a flat tire. And they didn't have a spare. That's what it was.
Well,
they didn't have a spare, so we brought them a spare.
But
happens. Then when we got there, they
stood there.
Yeah, they kind of didn't know what to do. So we changed their spare tire for them. And you're like, you're a grown man doing the job we do. And you're kind of like really standoffish with this. And it's like,
I'd have been like, roll up your sleeves, get in there, boy. Like, at
that time, we were just like, screw it.
Well, let's get it done. And end of shift, we're getting out of here. We need to go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in that case, I understand that. But, yeah, he's good. We just rotated all the tires on his Jeep and did a bunch of stuff with his car. So, I mean, he jumps in and does it. But he could take it or leave it.
So, my son knows how to do most of the stuff, kind of, because he's seen me doing it. And I let him do so much. He's still pretty small, my youngest.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the funny thing is that he will be more helpful. So he'll stay at my sister's house quite a bit, you know, especially if I'm
working and you've
work
got
on the
him,
weekends and stuff. He'll stay over there. He'll help my brother-in-law out.
More than you.
Way more than he helps me out. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
because your dad, it's different.
Yeah, but he's like, yeah, can I help?
It's the same.
My brother-in-law tells me all the time. He's like,
I
can I help?
have to chase Austin down to do work around my house. But he flies to see my parents in New York, and he drives around the tractor all day. He works all day long out there shoveling in the fields, doesn't care. And I have to ask him 3 weeks in a row to change the trash in the garage.
Yeah. And it
drives me up a wall. My parents are like, oh, he's such a nice boy. He does everything for us.
I was just about to go down that road.
Isn't that I'd kill you.
Isn't that the worst? So like, you know, you raised your kids right.
Yeah.
But at the same time too, it's almost a hit to your ego a little bit.
All kids, it's nature.
Yeah.
A lion and his son will fight.
Yes.
The son will take over the pride someday. He'll try to. That's exactly what happens here. It's a natural selection thing. It's ingrained in our system. But you just have to know that. But it drives me up.
At you?
Oh yeah, like a little while ago, he mouthed off when I was coming back in.
Yeah,
and I'm like, "You're not that big, boy." And his friend goes, "Your dad's gonna kick your butt." It's like, yeah, he is.
And that's the good thing is like at least they have
they
that
understand
respect.
that respect,
and it's a respect thing. Really, at that point, it's still a respect thing because
yes,
once they hit a certain age, they're kind.
They push.
You're really
they
gonna
push buttons.
But I think it hits me so hard every time my son will go stay over at someone's house or anything.
And I helped them change your tires.
He doesn't tell me, but like the parent or the adult will end up saying, "Oh yeah, he's such a good kid. He's so respectful. He's so this, that, the other. He's so helpful and all this
what
stuff."
What kid are we talking about?
You sure that was my kid?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
right,
like sleepover in there.
Yeah,
and you're like, "You sure that was my kid?"
He's a sleeper cell. That's what he is. He's a sleeper cell. So, let's circle back to your favorite drink. So we've gone skewy badooey on this one.
Well, I said earlier, I think.
Well, that's right.
I would say Capri Sun.
Yeah, Capri Sun.
Probably.
Yeah, and that's because then we scrolled. You looked it up, and we started talking about Grand Tour, about things in our whole life. Okay, yeah.
So I would say Capri Sun, but also, when I was little, and I still love it today, horchata.
See, and I've never. It's got to be a cultural thing with me because I don't get it. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't taste like anything.
On top of it, like I grew up here.
And it's big. Oh, it's huge in Tucson. Huge in Tucson.
Almost any store.
Now, I will tell you, if you go with me to Qatar next time, get karak.
What is that?
It is hot tea served at like 1,000 Kelvin with milk and sugar.
Okay.
It's super sweet, but like he handed it to me and I was like, can you have another cup? And I'm like adding a second and a third cup to it because it was so damn hot. It was burning my hands through the cup. But amazing. Tea, it was like tea with sugar and milk, and it was amazing. And it's a traditional drink in Qatar. And it was like, I was talking to one of the Tucson guys the other day, and he was talking. He's from Lebanon. He grew up in Lebanon, and he was talking about, oh, you know, this, that, and we were just talking. He's like, oh, you've been to Qatar? I'm like, oh yeah. And we started talking about it. And he's like, oh, did you have karak? I'm like, best stuff ever. I'm like, but it's served at like 6,000 Kelvin, you know, and we were laughing about that. He's like, yeah, they serve it really hot. And he goes, but man, it's so good. Like, so we started chatting. It's like this dude who I never would have known, you know, anything about. We just started chatting about stuff and about riding motorcycles there. And oh, he's got a motorcycle and he's, you know, interested in riding and this and that. Like, okay, there you go. So once again, we get to where we expect certain things, and then all of a sudden somebody breaks that expectation, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, so it's just kind of...
And are my expectations bad? Are they good? Or who knows? You just don't know because you don't know people.
Expectations can only really go so far.
Yeah.
Expectations can only really be very general, right? And then someone kind of breaks out of that because you generalize people. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
And the whole...
You make an instant judgment in the first 3 minutes you talk to somebody.
Yeah. And... then all of a sudden they're like, oh, you're like, I didn't actually expect that out of you.
So like with you, it was like 15 seconds. I'm like, oh, I hate this dude. I hate this guy. And then you grew on me like a nasty fungus because I didn't have any
like a barnacle.
Like a barnacle. Yeah, I couldn't scrape it off. I couldn't scrape it off the underside of me booty.
Ooh, but
pirates.
Ooh. We got to do that. We have to get that one rolling.
We're getting close. We're getting close to Halloween.
But Halloween's going to be special. I think we're going to do something special.
Yes, we have to.
We have to. It's going to be.
So, are we going to do a live show? No, because I have my requirements to. I have to scare all the children in the neighborhood. That is my job.
Yeah, so we can do it on. We could do one before, but even then, doing a live show, we'd have to work out time.
That's not going to. That's Anyway,
but we'll do a special one. We'll do like something special.
We'll do a good Halloween show.
Yeah,
I love Halloween. It's so much
and
fun.
if we can, we're going to try to get something extra for it. An extra person on or something.
Oh, we can do that for sure. Maybe we can get Sketchy on for Halloween.
That would actually be perfect. Actually,
mask it up.
Yeah, because then he could be masked up.
We can sit outside. We'll have the smoke machine going, so the whole time smoke's coming up through the table.
That would be perfect.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea because we can just do that. We'll just roll everything right outside in front.
Yeah,
out there, talk to the
that'd actually
neighborhood.
Be perfect. We could do it at once it's like
sun starts setting, and we get a good.
And then on top of it, we could even just have an extra mic.
Mm-hmm.
People that are walking by, someone wants to stop by, say a little something, or even, oh yeah, go ahead, kids.
Yeah, you don't want to be on this.
Yeah. You want nothing to do with this.
No, I think that's cool. I think that we got some good plans. So we'll have some good things coming up. I know we got some guests coming up that we're working on. So we should have them in the next couple episodes. We'll have a couple of phone-in guests that we've been working on.
Hopefully.
It's all about timing. That's
timing,
the problem. Timing's the issue.
Been rough for us lately.
Well, and when we're recording, most of the time it's during the week when everybody's working.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get them to step away from their jobs to talk with us. So we'll have to adjust fire. We'll make an appointment, try to get that worked out with at least the one that I want to think of, and then we got two others that we've been working on.
Yeah.
And I think we'll get them. So we'll see what happens. We'll make some cool things happen.
This is, we're. I'm sorry, guys. We've kind of been slacking a little bit lately.
Yeah, we've been pimp lagging.
Even with our socials and everything like that, we've kind of been slacking a little bit. We're starting to get back into the rhythm of it a bit. Yeah. We're not. We're
not quite there yet.
Yeah, we had a good little section where we were full in, but things happen.
In about 3 weeks? Yeah, in about 3 weeks, I'll be on my new shift, and we'll have the same days off.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to do, instead of doing lunch on Fridays, we're going to be doing lunch on Mondays, and then we'll just hammer it out. So it'll put us back on our rotation of getting things done. Hopefully,
unless
something changes.
Unless I get the promotion,
which we're working on.
Yeah,
so we'll see what happens. Hopefully we can make that happen for you because.
But even if I do, we're still going to be able to figure out times and everything.
Yeah, we'll figure.
It'll just mess with our schedule.
Yep, but no, we're good.
So we've finally been able to get back on a decent schedule. We've been doing some decent topics.
Today we squirreled like mofos today, but it's been a while. But I think it worked out good. I think it worked out good today. We just getting back into the swing of things, bouncing off each other and making things happen.
I think we needed to start getting. I don't know. Maybe we need to ask the audience and see if we can get some feedback on that. If they like the fact that we're squirreling off so much, or if we have a few kind of key topics we want to kind of hit on and go with that.
Well, and I'd love our audience to tell us, hey, we'd like you guys to do some research and talk about.
I thought I was the one that had the messed up speech today.
Yeah. Oh, that was a wing off a bug. Apparently, I might have sucked him through my sinuses. So anyway, I'd love to have you guys put down some topics you want us to cover, and we'll do our best to mess it up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll come up with some 86.4.5% facts about something that you bring up.
Absolutely.
We won't shy away from them.
No,
unless it's something super controversial.
Yeah, there's things that we don't cover because of our NDAs that we have. Yeah.
So there's certain things we can't cover, but for the most part,
that would be a non-disclosure agreement.
Is that what an NDA is?
I don't know. I just made that up. I think it sounds about right.
I just signed it when it
I just signed it when it said NDA. Just sign here. Don't talk about anything. Oh, okay, that sounds good. But no, I think that's good. I think we've had a good day. I think it's a good way for us to get started back into the process. And then we did spend way too much time today when we got together covering the sponsor spots. So
yeah, that kind of hit.
Oh, we started laughing so much it was bad. So if you're on Patreon, you'll be able to see that. So just jump with us and have a good time with it.
Yeah, and we'll get those links up. They might not be up. I'm not sure if they're up or not, but we'll get those links up for the Patreon.
Yep.
So that way you guys can, support us that
see
way.
See all of our bloopers.
Yeah. All the bloopers, all the pre-shows.
And uncut.
And the uncut, yeah. So if you hit a certain level, you get to see the full uncut. Only thing that does ever get cut in those is names.
Yes.
If it just happens to slip, a name, we'll cut those. But other than that, you're going to see the full uncut.
Yep.
No
So
no
yeah,
spot,
just
no censorship.
names just to protect the people who are around us that we care about. That's the biggest thing, because there are a lot of haters out there on the internet, and we do get a few messages like that. But hey, we expect it. I mean, that's part of doing this is we expect it.
Although here's the thing we can bring up on the podcast. So remember how we had that person that had said all those things about you saying, chat
misogynist
GDP
and chat GTP and all that.
So
GPT.
that particular
GTP, I can't do it.
GPT, but that particular thread of comments, because obviously we responded. That particular thread gone.
They deleted their thread.
I think they deleted their comments, so all that's gone. It's probably because we said that. Can't believe you're making fun of his speech impediment.
Well, and I honestly
and his dyslexia. Oh no,
and I know my dyslexia. And
what's next? Speech impediment.
Yeah. So honestly, I mix up letters and numbers a lot. So that was one of the things that I had to growing up. I had to learn to do. But even sometimes when I'm speaking, I do it I'll give somebody a phone number and I switch numbers, and they're like, "I'm calling you and it doesn't work." I'm like, give me your number. Let me text you. Because I still do that. That is something that happens in my brain, and I don't. It's never been 100% diagnosed, but they're like it's a characteristic of it.
Yeah. So honestly, and we weren't being serious about it.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing. Obviously, Eric can joke about it, whatever.
I know.
But the whole speech impediment thing, it was just kind of throwing it out there as a, hey, this is funny. If you don't get that we're trying to be funny about it, then you don't get what we're doing.
Yeah, and that's our whole thing is we just want you guys to have fun with this. We want you guys to enjoy it. We enjoy it. It's a good break for us. So
it's a good way to get away.
So I don't know. All I got to say is I think we got to live good.
Ride hard.
And we'll catch you later.